Hello class, so we are in our next lesson, which is probability. So we have part 1 and part 2 for this lesson. So for the part 1, we will be discussing about the concepts and the counting techniques that we will be using for the part 2 computations. So the definition of probability is that it's a branch of mathematics dedicated to building models to describe conditions of uncertainty and providing tools to make decisions or draw conclusions on the basis of such models. In the broad sense, a probability is a measure of the degree to which an occurrence is certain or uncertain. In simple words, no, ang probability is actually yung degree or yung measure ng degree, no, wherein mangyayari ang isang bagay. Okay? So, mostly, ang gamit natin doon ay in percentage or minsan ay in fraction, no, o kaya ratio. Okay? So, ang formula natin ng probability is the number of ways it can happen divided by the total number of outcomes. So, yung formula na yan will come to light dun sa mga examples na susunod natin, no, dun sa part 2. Another term that we will be hearing most of the time is the experiment. So pag sinabi nating experiment, it's a controlled study in which the researcher attempts to understand cause and effect relationship. Pag sinabi nating controlled, yung mga subjects kasi natin ay ina-assign natin ng groups. Halimbawa, itong grupo na ito, bibigyan natin ng vitamins. Yung second group, walang vitamins or any sort of supplement at all. Okay? And then we are going to compare them kung sino ang mas malakas ang resistensya o kaya yung mas malakas ang endurance sa mga trabaho everyday, no? So, pwede mo silang gawing comparison, yung dalawang group na yon. That is actually the experiment. You have the controlled group, yung may vitamins, and the uncontrolled group na yung walang mga supplements. Okay? In the analysis phase, the researcher compares group scores on some dependent variables. And then, titignan yung cause and effect dun sa dependent variable na yon. And then after that, they will draw conclusion after nung experiment na yon. Okay? Conclusion such that, example, no, pwede mo sabihin na yung mga nag-take ng vitamins ay mas mahaba ang kanilang endurance pag sila ay nagtatrabaho compared to the ones na hindi nagte-take ng supplements. So, other usual terms, we have the sample space wherein it represents all possible outcomes. Lahat ng possible outcomes sa sample space nilalagay. Yung mga sample point, yun yung mga element ng sample space. Yung mga isinulat sa loob ng sample space. And the element natin na sinasabi is a subset of a sample space. Okay? So, it means one or more sample points. So, pwedeng magkakagrupong sample points yun. Okay, the types of events that we have in our statistics, we have the mutually exclusive events and the non-mutually exclusive events. No? So, pag mutually exclusive events, they have no sample points in common. Ibig sabihin, they cannot happen at the same time. Okay? So, example, if you are there at your house, you cannot be at the mall at the same time. Yun ang mga mutually exclusive events. Okay? So, pag sinabi naman nating non-mutually exclusive events, they can happen at the same time. Example, if you're brushing your teeth, at the same time, you can watch the TV. Diba? So, pwede yun. Now, the next one is yung independent events. Pag sinabi natin independent events, they do not affect the probability of the occurrence of the other. Okay? Example, kung mag-e-exam tayo, sabay-sabay, yung result ng exam natin, nung result ng mga exams ng mga babae are independent dun sa results ng exams ng mga lalaki. Kasi sabay silang nangyari ng nag-exam. Okay? Ang ano natin doon, ang assumption natin doon, walang nangyaring leakage. Okay? So, kung gano'n ang situation sa experiment, those are independent events. We will be dealing with independent events, mutually exclusive, non-mutually exclusive, as we go along with our examples. Before we go to the proper solution or examples, no, nung mga probability mismo, we will be discussing muna yung counting techniques. Kasi, itong discussion na ito is related to the computation ng probability. You will be using the counting techniques in solving yung probability mismo. So, meron tayong tatlo na counting techniques. The first one is what we call the fundamental principle of counting, or what we call the multiplication rule. The second one is permutation, and the third one is combination. So, unahin natin yung fundamental principle of counting. Ang kanyang general formula ay n is equal to n1 times n2 times n3, etc., etc., times until the end of the given. Let's take the example on the slide. A man wishes to travel from town A to D. There are 2 roads he may choose from in traveling from A to B. 3 roads that connect towns B and C, and 4 roads that he may opt to travel from town C to town D. In how many ways can the man travel from A to D? To understand the problem, we need to draw, no, to see the scenario. So, ang sabi, manggagaling yung tao from town A, pupunta siya dito sa town D na ito. But along the way, meron tayong mga towns na dadaanan, which is yung B and C. Okay? So, ang sabi, dun sa problem, from town A, meron tayong 2 daan na pwedeng pagpilian. Okay? So, dito sa daan natin, from town A to town B, 2 ang daan. Tapos, 3 daan sa papuntang B to C. So, kung i-draw natin, 3 yung daan, okay, from town B to town C. And then, 4 na daan from town C to town D. So, kung 4, ayan, magko-connect dun sa town C to D natin. Okay. So, if you are going to list down the number of ways kung saan pwedeng dumaan yung man, okay, example natin, ano? So, dito, pwede tayong dumaan isa rito, okay, and then isa doon, and then dito from there. So, isang way yung tinahak natin. Pwede rin kasing dumaan si A or si man dito, pero yung second route, sa C to D ang dinaanan niya. That is another one. Okay? And so on and so forth. So, dito ulit, dyan ulit, and then the third route, and dito naman, dito ulit, and the fourth route. So, 4 na yung nabilang natin. Pero, kung titignan ninyo, pwede kasing dito dumaan siya muna, di ba? Instead of yung unang route natin, dito tayo dumaan, dito ulit, dito ulit. So, that is another counting. So, another one, and then doon ulit. So, and so on and so forth until matapos mo yung lahat ng daan ay pwede mo nang posibleng daanan, no? So, dapat ay bibilangin mo yon. Ngayon, kung listing method tayo, it will take us some time to finish yung counting. So, kaya ginagamit natin itong counting techniques para mapadali yung solution. Okay? According to the fundamental law of counting natin, since meron tayong 200 from A to B, tatlo tayo from B to C, and another C to D, eto kasi yung N1 natin eh. Eto yung N2, there are 3 ways. Dito ay there are 4 ways. So, kapag kinuha natin yung number of ways that we can travel from A to D, all we have to do is multiply 2 times 3 times 4. So, all in all, meron tayong 6 times 4, meron tayong 24 ways to travel. Okay? So, kung i-finish mo lahat yan, mabubuo mo yung 24 dito sa listing method natin. O, itong 24, madali lang, no? Kasi konti lang yan eh. Pero what if marami na yung minumultiply? So, mahirapan ka na pag listing method siya. That is the point why we are discussing yung counting techniques natin. Let's take the second example. How many 2-digit numbers can be formed from the numbers 3, 5, 6, and 8? Letter A, repetition is allowed. Letter B, if repetition is not allowed. Ito muna yung pag-usapan natin, ano? Ibig sabihin, pag repetition is allowed, kung magbubuo tayo ng 2-digit numbers, pwede tayong mag-ulit na gamitin yung 3 and 3 from here. Kasi 2 digits daw, no? So, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 6, 3, 8. Yan yung mga possible pag 3 ang umpisa. So, kung 5 naman, 5, 3 tayo, 5, 5, because repetition is allowed, 5, 6, 5, 8, 6, 3, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6, 8. And the last one, 8, 3, 8, 5, 86, and 88. So, all in all, lahat yan ay ilan? So, meron tayong 2, 4, at saka 2, 4. So, all in all, ang ating number ay 16 2-digit numbers. This is yung listing method, no? So, listing yan. Okay? Paano kung marami na to? Tapos, hindi lang 2-digit numbers yan. Marami. Sabihin na, 3-digit na, 4-digit. Diba? So, marami yung masusulat mo. Kung ganito lang kaikli, okay lang siya malilista mo. But, if you are going to use yung fundamental law of counting natin, okay? So, ang N natin, sabi natin, 2-digit numbers. Kapag ganyan yung problem, maglalagay ka ng dalawang number dyan. Dalawang spaces. Okay? So, this one is your ones digit. And this one is your tens digit. Kasi ito, ones digit and the tens digit yung nasa unahan. Okay? So that, dito sa ones digit, dahil 4 yung numbers natin, 4 numbers sila, diba? Kung repetition is allowed, lahat ng numbers ay posibleng nandiyan. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng 3, pwedeng 5, pwedeng 6, pwedeng 8. So, 4. Ngayon, dun sa tens digit natin, tens column, 4 pa din ang pwede nating ilagay. Kasi, pwede pa rin ulit yung 3, 5, 6, and 8. Kung ano yung nilagay mo dito, pwede siyang maulit dito. Now, sa fundamental law of counting, all you have to do is multiply yung ating number of ways na 2 beses, ano? So, makikita ninyo, 16 ways din ito or 16 2-digit numbers din siya. Okay? So, punta tayo sa letter B para mas ma-gets ninyo itong sinasabi ko dito. Kung repetition is not allowed, ililista natin ulit yung pwede dun sa mga list natin, no? So, hindi na pwede yung 3, 3. Mag-umpisa tayo sa 3, 5. Tapos, 3, 6, 3, 8. And then, 5, 3. Hindi pwede yung 5, 5, 5, 6, 5, 8. Okay? 6, 3, 6, 5, and 6, 8. And then 8, 3, 8, 5, 8, 6. Yan yung possible combinations natin. So, all in all, right now, we only have 12 two-digit numbers. Okay? Now, kung igagayahin natin yung ating way pag multiplication rule tayo, okay, ulit yon with this is the ones, this is the tens column. Sa ones column, pwede yung 4. Pwede yung 3, 5, 6, and 8, kahit alin dyan. Pero pag repetition is not allowed, 3 na lang yung pwede natin gamitin kapag nakapili na tayo dito. 'Di ba? Halimbawa, napili na natin yung 3 na ilagay dito. 3 na lang yung pagpipilian natin. 5, 6, and 8 na lang ang pwede dito. 5, 6, and 8 na lang siya. So, kung titignan mo, ang n natin dito, 3 times 4, so 12 ways din siya, no? The same with the computation with the listing method. Okay, so let's try the technique dito sa example number 3. So we have the same numbers, 3, 5, 6, and 8, but this time we are going to form them into 3-digit numbers. So let's take the letter A na repetition is allowed. So ang sabi natin, ang n natin, kung 3-digit numbers tayo, we will prepare 3 blank spaces. Okay? So this will represent your ones, your tens, and your hundreds place. So what you will do is, since there are 4 numbers here, since repetition is allowed, it means yung 4 numbers can be used dito, 3, 5, 6, and 8. Pwede mo ulit gamitin, halimbawa, ginamit na natin yung 3, pwede mo ulit gamitin yung 3, or whatever number kung ano man yung ginamit natin. And on the hundreds place, we also have 4. So, all in all, we have 4 times 4, 16 times 4, no? So, kung ilan yung ating ways na makukuha dyan. Okay? So, for repetition is not allowed. So, the same technique. We write 3 spaces again. But this time, since 4 na yung nagamit natin, halimbawa 3, 5, 6, and 8 dito, halimbawa ginamit natin yung 3, on the tens place, hindi na natin pwedeng gamitin yung 3. Ang pwede na lang ay 5, 6, and 8 na lang. Okay? So, dito, 2 na lang. No? Halimbawa, nagamit na natin yung 5 dito. So, meron na tayong 6 and 8 na lang. Okay? So, meron tayong 6 times 4 dito ay 24. 3-digit numbers na siya. I hope you get the idea. Okay, let's have the second technique, which is permutation. So, suppose there are 4 contestants, si Anna, Betty, Kaloy, and Dick, who are competing for 3 prizes. So, a first prize, a second prize, and a third prize. In how many ways can the prizes be awarded to the contestants so that any person gets at most 1 prize? Sabi sa second paragraph, notice that Anne getting first prize, Betty second prize, and Dick third prize is quite different from Dick getting first prize, Betty second prize, and Anne third prize, although the same 3 people are involved in both cases. So in this case, pag permutation ang pinag-uusapan, order does make a difference. If you write down yung first prize si Anne, si Betty, and si Dick, okay, so first prize, second prize, and the third prize, we can have another set, no? Sabi niya, dito ay si Dick naman, pinagbali-baliktad lang siya, Betty, and dito ay si Anne. Okay, para mas malinaw na makita. And then, meron pa tayong pang-apat, si Kaloy. So, another one yon, si Kaloy, no? Kaloy, o pwedeng si Dick, and then si Anne, kunyari. So, ito is 1 count, 2 counts, 3 counts. Ang tinatanong sa permutation ay ilang counts meron tayo lahat dito. Sa permutation, meron tayong 4 na formula. Okay? So, you just have to identify ano ba ang gustong ipagawa ng problem. If we are arranging n distinct objects taken n at a time, halimbawa, 4 yung objects, at iayos mo siya sa 4 na position, okay? So, 4 na objects, iayos sa 4 na position, ang ating formula ay P is equal to n factorial. If you are arranging 4 distinct objects, halimbawa, and then iayos mo lang siya sa 2 positions, example, ang formula natin ay P is equal to NPR. You can have this in your calculator. Makikita ninyo yung P dyan, yung NPR dyan, no? You can easily solve that. Halimbawa, 4 permutation 2 yun, no? Ito yung mga examples natin. Pag in-enter ninyo sa calculator, lilitaw na agad yung answer. Now, if you do not have the calculator, you can definitely use the formula. We will have examples to show na kung paano ginagamit ito. Okay? Now, for letter C, if you have identical items, no? So, N1, N2 are identical. Ito yung gagamitin natin. So, example nito, yung isang set ng Christmas lights. Sa set ng Christmas lights, merong blue lahat. 'Di ba? Series lang 'yun eh. Isang ano lang 'yun, isang wire lang 'yun, no? And then meron another color, and then another color, and then intertwined lang sila para mag-create ng multicolors. Okay? So for letter D, when we arrange objects in a circle, we have n-1 factorial, no? Ang idea nitong n-1 na ito kasi kapag halimbawa meron tayong circular table at mag-uupo tayo ng 4 persons, palagi tayong nag-uupo ng isa. And then yung tatlo, inaayos natin sila. Kumbaga, yung -1 doon is a fixed position, no? Palaging eto na lang yung inaayos natin. Kasi inupo na natin siya eh. So, kahit saan siya sa table iupo, halimbawa dito naman siya, tatlo pa din yung inaayos natin. Ito na pa rin ang inaayos natin. Okay, so let's have an example. This is using permutation, no? So, how many numbers can be formed using all digits 6, 7, 8, 9? So, kapag ganito ang ating inaayos, we are actually arranging 4 numbers or 4 objects na lang para hindi nakakalito in 4 positions. Kasi nga, all, no? Lahat yan, iaayos mo, ano mo lang siya. Shuffle mo lang siya. So, example, halimbawa, 6, 7, 8, 9, yung una mong count. Pwede siyang 6, 8, 7, 9. Pwede siyang 6, 8, 9, 7, etc. So, lahat yon bibilangin mo. Kung listing method yan, medyo mahirap, no? Kasi madami siya. So, without using yung listing method, you can just use yung permutation natin na n factorial. Okay? So, ang gagawin mo, 4 factorial. Or, if you have the calculator, you can easily get the answer here, but halimbawa, no, sira yung calculator or wala kang calculator, the factorial means, according to our discussion kanina, dun sa upper ng video, this is times 1. So, it means we have 4 times 12 times 2. So, meron tayong 24 numbers. Okay? Numbers. Ayan. Now, balikan natin yung itong example 1 na ito, no? So, halimbawa, ang tanong kasi dyan, what technique will you use? Will it be the letter A, yung count, yung general rule natin na n is equal to n1 times n2, n3, ganyan, no? It depends on the the problem. Kasi pwedeng permutation to or pwede rin yung n total. Diba? If we are going to arrange all digits, all of these in 4 positions, we are actually having this solution. Okay? So, ang assumption natin palagi kung permutation siya, no repetition, no? No repetition is allowed. Kung gagamitin ninyo ito, ha? So, ito, 4, kasi 4 sila. 4, 3 na lang dito, 2 na lang dito, at saka 1 na lang dito. It's the same with our solution ng n factorial kanina. 'Di ba? It's the same. So, 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So, you will get the same answer. So, ang tanong, which one will you use? It's really up to you kapag dating ng quiz natin. Okay, so example number 2. From the digits 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9, how many distinct 3-digit numbers can be formed? So, meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5. And then, pinapaayos siya as 3-digit numbers. Kapag ganito, ang sabi natin ay, we have NPR. Okay? NPR. Yeah, or N na lang ito para hindi tayo malito, no? Yung N total natin. So, ito ay 5, permutation 3. So, kung kukunin mo yan sa Calcu, please search on how to tinker your calculator to get that. So, we have 3-digit numbers. Okay? So, balikan natin yung ating ang ating counting technique number 1, no, yung multiplication rule natin. Pwede rin kasi siyang, since 3-digit ang pinag-uusapan, no, pwede tayong mag-multiply. Sa una, 5 sila, no? Palaging no repetition ang ating, what do you call this? Repetition ng ating assumption. Okay, so 4, and then 3. So, 12 times 5, meron tayong 60 numbers. No? So, check natin kung 60 nga ito. Now, for example, number 3, this one, if we have the problem, how many distinct permutations are there in the word millennium? So, makikita natin, yung ating mga letters, nagulit-ulit sila. So, merong 2 N, 2 L, 2 I, and 2 M. So, kapag gano'n na nagulit-ulit, what we want is to write down ilan yung M, ilan yung I, ilan yung L, E, N, and U. So, ayan siya. And then, we write down ilan. So, 2 dito, 2 I, 2 L, 1 E, 2 N, at 1 U. So, kapag ganyan, we get the permutation, the total permutation. Kasi ito ay, total nito ay 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 digits. So, 10 digits, 10 factorial, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1. So, whatever is the answer here will be your number of ways netong millennium natin. Okay? So, I would just like to discuss sa permutation, no? Kapag sinulat, kasi importante kasi itong 2 dito. Bakit siya factorial itong mga to? Kasi, when we look at yung L natin, dalawa, magkaiba sila, no? Si L sub 1 at saka si L sub 2. Okay? So, pwedeng ganyan yung ayos niya, or pwedeng magpalit sila L2, L1. Magkaiba yan. Pero kung titignan natin, parehas lang yung itsura nito, di ba? Iisa lang ang itsura nila. But, in permutation, the order is very important for the first L and the second L. Okay? Kaya kinuha natin yung 2 factorial na yan. No? Remember, when we arrange 2 letters in 2 positions. Remember, ang ating computation doon ay n factorial. Kaya meron tayong 2 factorial, which is the explanation why we did this dito sa ilalim. Okay, so for example number 4, in how many ways can 4 letters A, B, C, and D be arranged in a circle? So pag circle, ang ating formula is simply n minus 1 factorial. So since there are 4 letters, minus 1 natin, so magiging 3 factorial na lang siya, which means 3 times 2 times 1. So meron tayong 6 ways to arrange them. Okay? So if I'm going to have some of the arrangements, so sabi natin n minus 1, iuupo muna natin si A, pwedeng si B dito, si C, tapos si D, di ba? And then the next circular dapat ito. So circle, A ulit dito. So from here, maging C, maging D, maging D. Ganyan. And so on and so forth. So dapat 6 yung ating circles na yon. Now for example number 5, in number 4, how many arrangements are there if A and B must always be together? Okay, so ang scenario ganito. So sa isang table, since A, B, C, and D yung iuupo natin, at lagi daw magkasama sa isang upuan, si A and B, so ilalagay natin sila dito sa isang upuan. And then the rest, we arrange yung natin, letters. Okay? So kasi, sa isang arrangement, pwede namang dito si C, dito si D, dito si C. No? So, kung titignan natin mabuti, pwede rin kasi itong arrangement na to. Instead of nandito si A at saka si B, baliktarin natin sila. And then, C dito, D doon, and B, A, tapos dito naman yung D, dito naman yung C. So, 4 yung e-expect nating arrangements doon. Okay? So, paano natin gagawin yon? Kasi ito, ang treatment natin dito ay isang unit lang. So, all in all, we only have 3 arrangements or 3 groups na iuupo. So, ganito yung unang mangyayari sa ating permutation. This is permutation 1 pa lang ha. So, this is 2 times 1. So, 2. 4 ito Saan nanggaling yung isa? Okay? Ang P sub 2 natin, this is yung arrangement ng 3 digits or 3 groups of letters in a circle. Okay? Ito namang P2 is the arrangement of 2 letters in 2 positions. 2 positions. Sino yung letters na yon? Ito yung letter na A and B. Dahil i-arrange mo sila sa dalawang position, 'di ba? Pwede rito si A, pwede rito si, pag naupo na rito si A, isa na lang ang pwedeng umupo dun sa kabila. So, 2 rin yun, no? Or this could be represented as 2 factorial din. So, ang total permutations natin is 2 or P1 no, times P2. So, magiging 2 times 2. All in all, we have 4 ways. Kaya, 4 yung ating nilista dito. No? So, pag kinuha nyo yung arrangement ng circle, do not forget yung arrangement ng ibang elements doon sa problem. Tignan nyo rin siyang mabuti ang aking point. Now, let's go to the third technique, which is combinations. Balikan natin si Anna, si Betty, Kaloy, and Dick. Okay? So, sa permutations, importante ang order, kahit na mag-ulit-ulit yung elements. Sa combination, it does not matter. Okay? So, example, Let us consider the following example where we invite 3 volunteers from a group of 4 students, Anna, Betty, Kaloy, and Dick. If Anna, Betty, and Kaloy volunteer, this is in no way different from Kaloy, Ann, and Betty volunteering. We are interested in who volunteers and not in what order they volunteer. Kasi yung laman ng group ng isang volunteer si Anna, si Betty, at si Kaloy, okay, kung isang grupo yan, same lang din naman ang laman. Kung naunang nagtaas ng kamay, halimbawa, nag-volunteer si Kaloy, si Ann, at saka si Betty, yun ang kanyang sinasabing point, no? Ang laman nito is just the same for this. So, isa lang yun, no? If you go back dun sa Mississippi natin, or millennium na word, no? Millennium, yung L and L, okay, ay sa permutation, di ba, is not equal to LL. Correct? Kasi this could be L1, L2, or this one is L2, L1. So, hindi siya parehas. Pero sa combination, ang LL natin is just the same with LL pa din. Okay, so this is the formula for combination. Wala nang iba. Iyan lang. So let's have example number 1. From a box containing 4 defective and 5 non-defective items, how many samples of size 3 are possible? So kapag sinabing no restrictions, it doesn't matter kung lahat yan ay defective o lahat yan ay non-defective or kung ilan yung defective at ilan ang non-defective, basta 3 ang ating kukunin. For combinations, I usually use yung box method na tinatawag ko. Ako lang ang may device noon, ano? So, meron tayong all in all, no? Na 9 items. Okay? So, meron tayong 4 na defective and 5 na non-defective. Tapos, kukuha daw tayo ng tatlong size or tatlong samples. Okay? Ayan. Kapag no restrictions, ang ating sagot lang dito ay yung total number of items, combine mo sila sa 3. Yan na yung solution. So, just get yung ating calculator and then use that. Or, you can use the formula. Okay? And then, this one, letter B, with 1 defective and 2 non-defective item. So, pwede kong paghiwalayin yung aking box, no? Ito yung 4 defective items at saka yung 5 non-defective items. Kapag specified yung mga ganyan, dito kayo kukuha. 1 defective, kukuha ka na dito ng 2. Ito ngayon yung gagamitin mong solution mo. N is equal to 4 combination 1 times, diba? Kasi yung multiplication rule natin, times 5 combination 2. So, yan yung ating magiging sagot. Just process this in your calculator. This will give you the answer right away. Okay, moving on, let's have letter C. With 2 defective and 1 non-defective item, if a certain defective item must be on the samples chosen. Okay, so ganito yung scenario, meron tayong 3 samples. Ang gustong mangyari ng letter C, merong 2 defective items dito at saka isang non-defective item. Yun nga lang, from the 2 defective items, yung isa ay pre-chosen na siya, no? Napili mo na kung alin. Halimbawa, doon sa iyong 9 na laman ng items, halimbawa, meron doon TV, merong radio, no? Merong VHS, o kaya CD player, etc. Kung bawa, mga ano yan, mga appliances. Yung isa doon, nabawa si TV, nilagay mo na si TV dito. Okay? So, ang hinahanap na lang natin ay actually, dahil alam na natin si TV nandyan sa samples, ang hinahanap na lang natin ay isang defective at isang non-defective na lang from our box. Yun nga lang, dahil yung defective items natin nilagay, yung isang defective item, halimbawa si TV, nilagay na natin siya dito. Magiging 3 na lang yung defective items dito. Diba? Kasi wala na si TV dyan eh. Plus, 5 pa rin yung non-defective natin. So, kukuha tayo ng isa rito, kukuha tayo ng isa doon, according to our premise. So, ang N natin ngayon ay 3 combination 1 times 5 combination 1. Okay, so yan yung ating number ways. Now, for example 2, a box contains 7 red and 6 green balls. In how many ways can 2 balls be drawn such that they are both green? One is red and one is green. So, palagi, no? You have to draw your box. So, all in all, we have 13 balls. And then this box contains yung 7 red balls and 6 green balls. Okay? So, kung they are both green, ibig sabihin, from our drawing, walang red. So, dalawa lang ang green na kinukuha natin. 2 balls lang naman ang kinukuha. So, ang N natin dito ay simply 7 combination 0 times 6 combination 2. Gets? And then the letter B, 1 is red and 1 is green. Ibig sabihin, isang red, isang green. So, N natin ay 7 combination 1 times 6 combination 1. Yan yung mga techniques na pwede nyong gawin. That's our lesson for probability part 1 ng ating counting techniques. So, please go to your teams para makita natin yung ating gagawin na sit work or assignment. Thank you!